What is up, everyone, and welcome back to McGee's Garage, the most underrated channel in all of YouTube. And today we're going to get started on the F100 portion of my F100 Crown Vic swap project. Now, you saw in part 1 and 2, I went ahead and got the car ready. I got about as far as I can without plasma cutting, but before I get to that on the car, I have plenty that I have to do to the truck. This is a 1974 Ford F100. It has a 302 for a power plant that is very tired. It's got some 4-speed automatic slush box, probably a C6 or a C4, and it just drives like a 50-year-old truck. So a couple people were asking about what the Crown Vic swap is. No, I'm not the first guy to do it. There's a group with about 10,000 people on Facebook that do these swaps. The main reasoning for doing this swap is because you get better handling, a better engine, 4-wheel disc brakes. You're like, oh, you know, the 4.6 underpowered, it only makes like 300 horsepower or whatever. Brother, this thing makes 140. Okay, I'm doubling my horsepower. It's not the end of the world. I'm good. All right, I don't need 10,000 horsepower, at least not at this stage in my life. I'm gonna have a hard enough time not crashing this without any power mods for now. But on this episode, I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling off the front clip, try and get the harness out of the truck. Stay tuned. Now, before I get too silly with cutting and dicing the truck, I do have a couple measurements I have to make. The main one being the center of the front wheel to the back of the cab, so that I have a good point of reference for when I'm setting the truck cab on the car, because even if I'm out an inch, it could throw off the whole thing. I already sprayed a bunch of stuff with PB Blaster on the underside of the truck. I'm gonna let her down so I can get those measurements that I need. Look at this. Anybody that says, oh, you can get an F100 to handle better on stock, brother, what is that? That sucks. That's what that is. So a lot of these older vehicles, the grills are very complicated, which also means that they're kind of hard to pull. I'm just kind of pulling the grill bit by bit because this grill isn't terrible. I don't have a better one to use, really. So just kind of making sure that I pull this correctly. There it is. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on these doors because they do need to come off, and I do need to measure, before that fender comes off, I do need to measure from the wheel center to this part of the cab so that I know where to put the cab in relation to the wheel on the Vic. Ironically, I'm pretty sure that the dent side doors are lighter than the town car doors. I think this door is not going to be that heavy. Oh, we're almost there. The mounts actually don't look that bad, rust-wise. Oh yeah, that's not bad. Bolt bin. Yep, I'm gonna go throw this in the back of the truck. Now, if you look inside here, you can see the original color of the truck was powder blue. I would love to revert it back to that color, and I would also love to get a hold of the guy that painted it. All right, we are at 70 inches on the dot. It's actually more like 69 and 15/16, but we'll call it 70. Oh, yeah, got it. I have decided it's probably easier just to pull the whole clip than mess around pulling it in pieces. And I probably should have taken that hint because my dad has a dent side clip way out there, full clip for off of one of his trucks. Got the hood off, wasn't too terrible. I'm just gonna go ahead and start buzzing off the main clip bolts, and I'm just gonna try and pull this all as a unit. Definitely gonna be labeling wires because we are probably gonna reuse this harness. Luckily, there's not as many as on the car. So I have to stop every hour and take out the new shop assistant that we hired. She's kind of high maintenance. But yeah, this is Shelby. Everybody say hi. Hi, Shelby. Shelby, say hi. Hello. Right? You good girl? Yeah. She's being good. Y'all have to see this rust right here. Watch this. Got it. All that came out from the fender. Remember everybody, rust is lighter than carbon fiber. That's true. Feels like there's something in the coolant hose. That's really strange. Oh, that looks awful. So my dad told me to do us a favor and pull the radiator on this thing, so that's what I'm doing now. Got the transmission lines all capped off and stuff out of my box caps here. Under further review, I have found that the bucket that I was using for the coolant catching in fact had a hole in it. I tried. Oh, that was it. Okay. Yep. Alright, go down. Down. There we go. Look at that. Alright guys, we got pretty far in this part. Didn't get as far as I wanted to because we have had some serious rainstorms in my area lately. But this is what we're looking at on the truck. Everything's tarped up. I'd like to pull the cab in the next episode, but I can't really work in the rain because I'm working outside. Car's over there tarped up. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed part 3 of this build. And if you did enjoy it, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers, hopefully, here pretty soon. But yeah, that's going to do it for us today. And I will see you guys in the next one. Check out one of these other videos. All right, I'm out.